They're very numerous, very close, very fast, and very surprising. Welcome to the Topcon Irish Formula Vee Festival.
The Irish Formula Vee Festival presents a very interesting contrast between the two forms of Formula Vee. On my right is the Lee Stone, the Irish Formula Vee, which, as you can see, has a 1600, not very highly tuned engine, whereas on my left is the English version. This new Storm has a 1300cc highly tuned engine, but there are other differences. As you will see, the English version has a slightly narrower tyre and a very sticky tyre, so that gives good grip, whereas the Irish version has the wider Dunlop but not as sticky, so they last longer but don't give as good grip. But amazingly, the lap times are very, very similar.
With a staggering 28 entries from the UK and a further 36 of the home-based cars, this makes the Topcon Formula Vee Festival by far the biggest gathering of any racing class in the season.
Trevor Delaney in an Irish car on pole, alongside him Fergus Dalton, the UK, the new Storm car, all together. A huge grid of Formula V's heading down towards the first corner. On board now with Jake Oliveira in a UK GAC. Great straight line power in these cars, Arnie.
Yeah, tremendous start by Jake there. He really carved his way through the field. Oh, we've got a real problem now in the back of the grid here. Sean Dillon looks like he's had a major problem. I hope we get him off the grid before these guys come around.
Here comes Delaney now, defending heavily and all over the curbs, trying really hard there. Dalton in that new Storm car on board again, and just look at the straight line power of these UK cars. They rev a lot higher, trying down the outside into that double apex corner. Sean Dillon's car being pushed away by the rescue queue, and the marshals doing a great job there, but the leaders going down towards the S's.
Really hot and heavy here. They leave the door open just the slightest bit, there'll be a car through. Whether it's English or Irish, they're going to go for the gap.
And there's Oliveira now having a look at Coyners in a similar car, has to back out of it, and as a result is slow up the hill. And look at Coyners already having a go at a car in front. Delaney now defending heavily at Dunlop corner, and that car number 56, the Storm we talked about earlier. There's the separate safety team just coming off the main straight.
Yeah, just managing to get a bit out of the way before they get overwhelmed by these guys. And obviously Oliveira here is really making it in the straight line. We've seen his cars brilliant. Look at this under braking around the outside. Oh, it's so close to losing it, but they're bunching up again as they go into the left-hander.
Dalton there really trying hard, got a run, but Delaney knows what he's doing, and now a run round the outside of turn 2. That's brave stuff, and it looks like he's going to make it work. Great stuff from Dalton, takes the lead, but look at this, Martin Don, very much one of the UK pace setters. Delaney gets swarmed, Don round the outside, back up the inside. He's going to have a look at Delaney. It looks like he's going to make that stick. Incredible move, Arnie.
Oh, brilliant piece of driving. Round the outside there is really tricky thing to do in any car, and then to be ready to dive up the inside, but he hasn't got it. He's not going to have it all his own way.
Here he comes into the S's already, a little bit of a lead, really pushing hard. Watch out for this guy, but just as I say it, he's gone a little bit wide. He's slowing down, a problem with the car, and the car's all over the track. The leader suddenly slows. Delaney back in second place, Dalton leading, and poor Martin Don, looks like a transmission problem possibly there.
Oh yeah, that terrible luck for him. What a tremendous start he made, but it's all hot and heavy at the front still between these two.
Corners there up to third place, and it looks like somebody going off, possibly Macmillan there, one of the Irish cars, right up against the barrier.
It's such a shame, the car's running absolutely beautifully, but third gear just stripped there coming into the back section. Just after got the lead, brilliant move on Fergus, but wasn't to be, so c'est la vie, as they say.
So unfortunately it was a transmission problem. Here comes our man Oliveira up the inside now on the brakes into Dunlop. He's got the hang of this track, taking a little bit of curb very sideways, and moving forward now to the S's. He's already all over Trevor Delaney. He's moving to the inside. Can he possibly displace Delaney? Trevor Delaney, a very hard racer. He's not going to give this one away, Arnie.
No, he's going to try and close the door. He's got the wheel on the curb, and he's pushing him out towards the grass, still leaving him enough room, fair enough as he go down towards the hairpin. But he's just got the edge and speed now as he go down, and can he close under braking? That's the next thing.
I don't think there's much the Irish cars can do in a straight line. Yellow flags there, but he did make that move before they went into that zone, so he's okay. So good run here from Oliveira, Jake Oliveira, that beautiful GAC machine, great looking car. Some of these UK cars, a lot of work goes into them. In fact, that Storm very sideways there as we mentioned it, going through and looking good for it, possibly his first win ever in this car.
Yeah, looking really good. I think these guys have got this thing now. That second car really does look very neat. It looks a little bit like a Mygal to me. Look at this, how tight this is. Back through in the inside again.
Great dive from Delaney down the inside at Dunlop, fighting for Irish honours here, trying to take on these UK cars. He hasn't got as much power. Just watch Oliveira in a straight line, goes by him, but yet again Delaney will come back at him on the brakes as they head down into Honda corner. corner and manages to take that place back. A great move there from Delaney. Really is a little bit out of his depth here power-wise, Arnie.
Yeah, he sure is struggling, but he isn't going to give up, and he's fighting tooth and nail. Great to see that. That's really what we want to see in motorsport.
And here comes Oliveira on board with him again. Double apex corner out the back, and he's closing in already on Delaney and taking a wide line. He should be quicker on the way out. Now down into second gear, a little bit sideways there. He should be able to grab third and get a run at Delaney. And just look at the leader kicking up dust there, Arnie, pushing very hard.
Really trying hard. Wheels right out on the edge of the dirt. And now oh no, he's lost it under braking coming in. That's going to really ruin his chances. But with any luck, he'll dig his way out, but he'll be furious with himself.
Well, after he made the initial error there, kept the head, didn't stand on the brakes or the power, managed to pick his way out of it. Unfortunately, just trying a little bit too hard to stay in touch with these cars. Here comes Dalton now, this beautiful storm, looking for his first win, but now he's under huge pressure from our onboard cameraman, Jake Oliveira.
Yeah, Oliveira hadn't given up. He's managed to survive all the way to now, and his car looks like it's got the edge in a straight line. But there's really very little between these two, so it's down to driver expertise, I think.
Well, Dalton's been around Mondello many times. Of course, he did race in Formula Vee in Ireland when he lived over here. He's moved to the UK. He's building this beautiful car now. Here he comes up to Dunlop corner. A great run from him. Gets on the power good and early. Nice clean run now, heading down towards the start-finish line. And the checkered flag being prepared, Arnie.
Yeah, first win for this new car. Wonderful effort. A tremendous race by both drivers. Really good stuff.
Now you're in fact the third Irish manufacturer into Formula Vee.
Yeah, we've even though I'm living in England, we've produced the new car with the help of Steve Glasswell from scratch, and it's working out okay. This is only its second outing, and it's coming up trumps, thankfully.
So Dalton takes that one from Jake Oliveira and Trevor Delaney in third. And time for semi-final 2 now, so another full grid of Formula V's, UK and Irish cars. Interesting one on the front row there, CraigerNews.com. That's the Works Laystone of Ken Elliott competing in the UK Championship, but of course an Irish driver, and he gets away very sharply there. Robbie Parks and Keith Hogg right with him, two of the top Irish Formula V drivers.
This has got all the makings of a tight one as they come down into the first corner. Everybody managing to get round, which is a bit of a miracle, as they head off towards the left-hander. He's just eased out about a car length. He'll be glad of that by the time he gets down to the next corner.
Great stuff from him. He's got a lot of support here. It hasn't been a great season for him in UK Formula V, but Hogg now trying around the outside of Robbie Parks. Parks not having any of that, elbows him back, but all this will let Ken Elliott get away, and that's not what Parks wants. He'll want to try and hang on to that UK car. There's Joe Close going through, a man very much involved in Irish Formula V and out enjoying his racing.
Yeah, Joe Close, a great competitor. He's a man whose legs look like they're being operated by somebody else. He's a tremendous competitor, a great organiser. But this has proven to be a real tough race at the front, and even all the way down the field, this guy's trying their eye strings out. And there's somebody who's lost his nose. One
of the UK scarves there, 21. I think that's McCarthy there in the scarf, but somebody else hand in the air, number 70. That's Nicholas Brown. Unfortunately, another one of those beautiful GAC cars, but he's not going any further today. Here comes our leader now. It's Ken Elliott in the Laystone, heading up towards Dunlop corner. Robbie Parks in second place. A bit of a gap back to that lurid purple car of Keith Hogg's. And here we go, it looks like somebody going off very high speed. That's the Kershaw run car now, that's O'Dwyer, and everything okay, lost his nose cone, but that could have been very nasty, Arnie.
Yeah, I'd say that gave him a bit of a fright. The front dug in a bit and hauled the thing up on its end, but these things are tough. They're made to withstand this sort of racing, and that'll be out again before too long.
So pace car out, yellow flag, probably a good decision. That car not in the best of places, the nose cone being removed. You see a lot of those around in Formula V racing. There he is, perfectly okay, just having a quick look at his car. Mechanical defect there, number 88, is being told that there's a problem with that car, but back to racing, and Ken Elliott's got the jump. He's hooked second gear there when the pace car pulled in. He's just got ahead of the rest. That's good tactics from him, good racecraft, so he's well ahead. Here's the battle now for second. Hogg having a look around the outside of Robbie Parks, doesn't make it stick. Then it's Mulligan next up, Horan, Joe Close right in there as well, and here comes our leader now, sailing serenely away from the rest of the pack.
Yeah, he looks like he's really made the best of that restart. Oh, and there's another man running out of grip, unfortunately, at the vital point in time, and even a Formula V isn't going to dig its way out of that one.
Checkered flag then for Ken Elliott.
I've been racing in the UK Championship for the past 3 seasons now, and this is the first time I've been back here in Mondello racing since I've raced Irish V's, and I'm really looking forward to the festival.
So Ken Elliott the winner from Robbie Parks and Dan Mulligan.
The third semi-final of the Topcon Irish Formula V Festival is about to scream off the grid.
Heat number 3 now for the Topcon Formula Vee Festival, and on pole 18-year-old Daniel Hans, very much the young charger, but it looks like Kelly's not going to get away in this one, waving his hands. He's going to look for a push here. There he goes, looking for a push. A lot of miming going on here, and David Heavey just wondering what's happening. He's not happy with this.
Really confusing. Whenever you don't know what's going to happen, you're waiting for the lights to go green, wondering, but it looks like we've got sorted right now and they're away.
Great start from Paul Salmon on the outside of the front row, probably the quickest Irish driver here this weekend, and he just tucks in and he can't beat the U-car away. Watch this now, Kelly going down the outside. This is what it's like into the first corner of a Formula Vee race.
Very brave around the outside, but there's the only place for him to go. It was all bogging up on the inside. To go down the left hander now, they've managed to get all through here in a nice even little straight. Oh, there's a man hanging out to dry there. David
Heavey now having a look at another laystone there that looks like Ronan Healy, and he's trying around the outside of turn 3. Thinks the better of it. David Heavey having a bad weekend, a lot of engine problems with the car. Meanwhile, Hans out front trying to fight off these Irish cars. There's 47 David Heavey, and we're back on board with him now heading up towards the S's. Checks the mirrors, needs to get by this car in front of him. He's going to get back up to the lead.
Yeah, the frustration, wanting to get past the guy, hoping he can push him into making a mistake, but it's so tight at the front of this. Nobody can make a mistake here and hope to survive.
So it's young Daniel Hans leading this one now. Salmon in second place. Look out for Newsom there in third place, and Salmon having a look down the inside, just showing his nose. There's Gary Newsom there in third place, very much a man to watch in Formula Vee. And Heavey having a look around the outside of Healy. It doesn't quite work. That's a classic Mondello manoeuvre if you can get back up the inside, Arnie.
If you can possibly do it, that one will work. But look at this, he's closing in now as he goes down towards the hairpin.
Daniel Hans locking a front wheel under pressure now from these two Irish guys. Two of the quickest Irish Formula Vee drivers there. He's got one in each mirror, Arnie.
Yeah, yes, he's certainly got a surfeit of pursuers. And as they go down towards the really quick right-hander here now, will one of these guys be brave enough to hang it out on the outside?
And somebody gone up, and that's Paul Heavey in the brand new Leastone. Beautiful looking car, still undergoing development, and unfortunately we won't see him anymore today. And now the Irish car is closing in on the lead. Got John Stapleton there next up, and David Heavey comes together. The frustration, as you said, Arnie, just getting to him there. Nose cone just left lying there, number 47. We can easily spot who owns that one.
Yeah.
Replay now from onboard. Going down the inside, a little bit optimistic. Healy turns in there and they just take the nose cone off that car.
Good for the fiberglass business, Formula Vee, but these guys at the front are really trying hard, not making many mistakes. Having another look down the inside. Can he possibly do it under brake? And he's got his car up the inside, and he's managed to get away with it. Oh,
Newsom there almost getting a clip, but just a little bit of not enough track for everybody there. And there's Kelly just losing a place up the inside. The new leader now is Paul Salmon, hand in the air. There's what waved yellow flag, so Newsom just showing that he won't overtake there. So it's Salmon now from Hans and Newsom. It looks like Stapleton next up, then Ronan Healy still defending that place in fourth place.
This is getting really tight now. If Salmon keeps his head down, he should be alright, but these guys aren't going to let him get away.
Good run from Alan Whitty there coming up through the grid. That's the lurid green car. There he goes. And who's that having a look down the outside? David Heavey again, back up to Ronan Healy. This battle still goes on. He's forced Healy to go wide now at Honda corner. Can he get alongside? He is alongside. Let's see if he can get round the outside for turn 2, Arnie.
He's got a chance here to get right through, and there he's managed to get through at last after a huge amount of trying.
And Whitty now closing in on them to watch out for that green car, and all the regulars streaming through. Here's Kelly now, somebody going down the outside of him. Not sure who that is. One of the UK cars managing to go round the outside. He probably doesn't know you shouldn't really do that.
That's a brave thing to do, I'll tell you, because you haven't got much room for error. If you get hung out to dry on the grass there, you'll be in the hedge pretty soon.
87, that's Warren Smith right in the middle of that battle. So great stuff. The car's very equally matched, and Salmon now getting away in front. Hans in second place. Not anymore, because here comes Newsom down the inside of Dunlop corner. Great move. Hans tries to get back up the inside. I think Newsom has him covered. They're both heading for the wall.
Tremendous Formula Vee there. Little puffs of smoke. Oh no, after all that work he's lost it.
And it looks like third place man has gone off in sympathy. I think that was Hans going around the outside. We're not sure. It certainly was. Both have gone off. Incredible stuff. But Hans crucially gets on in front, and now they're looking for places on the grid for the final, Arnie.
Yep, and it's all to play for now. And look at this, and there's a guy on his right hand side there. We just didn't see what happened to, but Salmon cruising away here, making a real Schumacher job, and perhaps not this year but in the past.
Stapleton next up, I think it is. Here's Hans. Watch the yellow car now of Newsom. This guy has great racecraft, and we will see it now. He's already alongside Kelly on the outside of Dunlop corner. Looks like he's going to have a look round the outside on board now with Kelly, and Newsom's done it. Great stuff from him.
Brilliant effort, brilliant move. Very difficult thing to pull off, but it's tremendous, and he's still trying.
Pushing very hard, and literally pushing very hard there. We won't say much about that one. There's Kelly just going around the wreckage there at the inside of turn 3. Somebody else trying to get back on the track. That's 87, Warren Smith.
Yeah, I think he's taking the short agricultural cut there. back out onto the main straight, but it won't have done the car any harm.
Oh, unfortunately, David Heavey there, stead at line. That's his hand in the air. It looks like he's not going to finish this one. But here comes Paul Salmon, and as we said, way out in front now. Ex-Formula Opel, ex-Formula Ireland racer, a lot of single-seater experience. Come back down into V's. John Stapleton it is now up into second place, under pressure from Healy, and then it looks like Whitty, the man we saw slicing up through the field earlier. So great Formula V stuff. 3 Irish cars battling away. Stapleton now under pressure. Ronan Healy alongside on the brakes. Looks like he's going to try and go around the long way. I don't think he's going to make that stick. He doesn't, and it looks like Whitty can have a go now for turn 2.
Yeah, it's all to play for, and I think he maybe just made it through, and here we have Salmon cruising along. This is one of the best classes that ever been in Ireland, Formula V. It's wonderfully well supported. We usually get tremendously close racing, and I think it's a real tribute to the guys who run it and look after it that it's so well supported.
Formula V Association of course put great work into this weekend. Stapleton now under pressure. Is that Hans? It is. Hans and Newsom already back up there. Great to see. Here's Salmon now down the inside of Dunlop corner. He's coming to the checkered flag. It's being prepared. It looks like it's going to be a strong win for Paul Salmon, and he's got to be a contender for the final later on, Arnie.
He sure has, and his experience should pay off.
So waiting for the battle for second place now. Who's it going to be? Waiting for him to come out of Dunlop corner. Just look at this, Stapleton defending. Hans has a look up the inside now, but watch on the outside. Newsom down the outside of both of them on the brakes. Great stuff again from number 7 Newsom. Can he possibly get around the outside? I think he can. It looks like he's going to get up to third place. Of course Healy is going to be second. Newsom gets that third place. What about Paul Salmon, ex-Formula Ireland, now racing Formula V? How do they compare?
I can assure you it's a lot more difficult racing wise. The cars aren't as quick, but it's you can see out there it's hot and heavy for 15-20 laps.
Great win there for Salmon. Ronan Healy second. Looks like Stapleton just pipped Newsom for third place, and Alan Whitty in fifth. Straight into the final now, and on pole position it looks like it's going to be Salmon. Indeed it is in the second row. Very much a danger man. Number 4, that's Ken Elliott. Watch out for him. Very much a man that wants to go well this weekend. That's Oliveira. We were on board with him earlier. We're on board with him again. He's on the third row of the grid. We're getting ready to go now, and this is the Topcon Formula V final, Arnie.
I think Oliveira is going to be very quick off the line. His car's been quick all day.
And Salmon, the master of the standing start in earlier single-seater classes. There he goes, good start from him. But look at this from the second row of the grid. It looks like Elliott possibly down the inside. Salmon's seen him, but it's too late. He moves across, but there's no way Elliott's going to back off. And Elliott leads the Formula V Festival down into the first corner. Dalton, Oliveira, all looking for the same piece of track. Great racing from Formula V.
Brilliant start by Elliott. Absolutely tremendous. Totally committed. And now he's getting away now. We're getting held up here. But Oliveira is really making an effort, and we've seen how quick he is down into here in the past.
Good first corner. Ronan Healy got a little bit sideways and paid dearly for it on the way out to turn 3. Oliveira now out to the outside to get a run up the hill. So it's Elliott from Salmon. It looks like Dalton, then Oliveira, then Ronan Healy. Newsom right in there as well. That yellow car we spoke about earlier. And just look at this grid of cars. Great stuff. Let's watch what the first corner of the final is like on board with Brian Kelly.
This is really sorting them out here, dashing through, looking for a gap anywhere at all. You can get half a Formula V into somebody drives through the gap. Look at this, nobody managing, everybody getting round, nobody hitting anyone. Tremendous.
Great stuff there from Kelly, and as you said, Arnie, half a gap will do him. Great racecraft. He's made up about 6 places. Here comes the leader now. It's Elliott from Salmon. It's Dalton in third place, Oliveira, and then it's just Armageddon at Dunlop corner. Robbie Parks clatters the back of Ronan Healy there, gathers it all up. These cars take a lot. They still stay square and they still keep driving, Arnie.
Yeah, this is the great thing in Formula V. If you can touch someone, it's not the end of the world. Now Oliveira making a huge effort down the outside. We know his car's quick in a straight line, and has he got it under braking to try and get this place?
Dalton won't give it up easily, but I think he has done it there, but he leaves a bit of a gap. Dalton fighting back, but again Dalton struggling a little bit with the other UK cars for straight line power. Not a problem that Ken Elliott has, and Salmon holding on there, keeping him honest, but this battle raging for third place now. Salmon's
really putting the pressure on. Oh, look at this, more nose cones going into the bin, and there's certainly going to be a big bin by the end of the day, but to carry all that lot.
Oliveira now down into turn 3. A good run from him. He's done very well this weekend. We've seen some great manoeuvres on board with him as well, and he's going to try and close in on Paul Salmon. Here comes Kelly now having another look at Mulligan down the outside into turn 3. A very, very brave move. It looks like he's going to pull it off. He has done, Arnie.
I'm amazed at these guys. Oh, whoops, there's another nose cone for the bin. These guys are getting away with murder on the outside down there. I think it's a real effort, a real testimony to their driving.
Everybody pushing hard. Of course, this is the biggest race of the year for Formula V, the Formula V Festival, and hopefully this will go on and on. A lot of UK visitors really enjoying their weekend. Another nose cone. That's Ronan Healy. There's Gary Newsom just displacing Hogg there, moving up another place. Young Daniel Hans right in there, on board again with Kelly. That's John Stapleton in front of him now. Let's see if he can have a run at him on the way to turn 3. A good clean exit to turn 2, a little bit of curb, pull forward gear around here, and it looks like he's going to have a run at him, but Stapleton takes the inside line. Salty old Sea Dog, he's been around here once or twice.
You could certainly get pushed out onto the grass. I think he's got a rear wheel in the grass. Oh, he's got it back again, but he's used a lot of grass getting it straightened up.
Well, there you go, another man going off. Looks like Whitty, number 14, just having a look around, make sure no one's going to hit him there. He's been going well all weekend, but that's going to drop him right down the order. And straight back to the leader there. So the leader already heading down towards there. And here we go. We thought this might happen now. Salmon under pressure from Oliveira. And Salmon not being very generous with the Irish tarmac there. Really making Oliveira work for that one. Half on the grass. So Paul Salmon does not want to give up this second place too easily.
No, Oliveira did well there. He kept it to one front and one rear wheel on the grass and didn't lose it, which is a pretty good effort. And our more effort around the outside. I don't know whether he's going to get away with this. Is there room on the inside? Oh, too close.
Talk about not learning their lesson. That was Brian Kelly again. It didn't work the first time. It's probably not going to work the second time. Here's Delaney now down into the S of Newsom right with him. And again, Delaney going a little bit wide. We saw him do that, going very, very wide. Going rally crossing almost, Arnie.
Yeah, he was in the hay lane across there. I don't know what happened to him there. He just got himself out onto the dirt, I think, and lost all grip.
Here's the leader now up to Dunlop Corner. CraigorNews.com, Motors Inc. A lot of sponsors in that car. Great support. They're going to be very happy with this. It looks like Ken Elliott is going to win the Topcon Formula Vee Festival. And Paul Healy there leaning over the wall. He builds these cars. He's delighted with that. There's Salmon, first Irish car home is a Shane in second place, and third place is the Gag, fist in the air. Oliveira's delighted. He's had a great weekend, but there's the man that's won the festival. It's Ken Elliott.
Sounds nice. Topcon Irish Formula Vee champion.
Yeah, it's brilliant, Plum. Had a great weekend. I've had a few problems yesterday, but it all came good today, and I'm absolutely delighted.
This is one of the big highlights of the year, this Formula Vee festival.
Absolutely. To get so many English cars over and have so many Irish cars here, it was absolutely brilliant, and there was a great crowd here today, and I think everybody really enjoyed it.
Can you believe it?
Of course I can.
Well done.
Thank you.
Of course, Paul, you really kind of kept the Irish cars' honours out there.
I did, yeah. The English cars are so much quicker in a straight line and obviously much better off the line than the Irish cars. But, you know, I had a good race, great race with Jake. Good, tough racing, clean racing, and that's what it's all about. That's what Formula Vee is all about.
Jake, we saw it beginning to smoke a little bit towards the end of the race.
I've been having an oil leak all weekend actually, and we haven't come to the bottom of it, to be honest, but it doesn't seem to be anything terminal, so we've just kept going, kept topping the oil up, you know, it's still going. So
happy with your result?
Very happy, extremely happy.
It's been an all-win day for the Irish Formula Vee Association, who have proven that club racing can be friendly, great fun and very entertaining. And in the end, it was an Irishman driving an Irish Leastone car built to English specification that won the day. Now what could be fairer than that?